This video has been something that's on my mind as of recent events, and to be quite frank, I don't want to act like my normal productive life has not changed and I'm not impacted by what's going on, because I feel like I'd be lying to you just going and making my videos without ever addressing this. I also feel like not making a video on it or not speaking out on it more than I already have would be a disservice to the current situation. I want to bring up something that's really affected the landscape of this country and brought up some really meaningful conversations that I hope will help improve everything moving forward. It's easy for people like myself, more specifically white people, to act like this is not our problem, to act like police brutality is not our problem, to act like discrimination towards the Black community is not our problem. But without us speaking up out and against it, there really isn't going to be change. It is our duty as Americans and as humans to make this change happen. Because if you have Black friends, if you support Black athletes, if you support Black music artists who you love and have impacted you, then I really don't see the disconnect between it not being your problem or it being your problem. It is your problem. You should want them to be treated all the time with the same amount of respect as you as a white American, because it doesn't matter what your skin color is, you should be treated the exact same. I have a moral obligation as a human to speak up when other humans are being oppressed. Now, we do want to say that the Black community's opinion and what they have to say on this means much more than what I have to say on it, because it is their struggle, not ours, theirs. And they are the only ones who understand what that means. It may not be about us in that sense. However, it is our obligation as Americans, as a community, and as people to make change happen so that we can have a more just and better country. In order for this country to become a better place, we as white Americans need to educate ourselves on the oppression of the Black community and to make sure that we can support this movement of trying to make change happen in any way that we can. For those of you that are content creators, I think you should watch the video by Marquez Brownlee where he reflects on the color of his skin and how it's affected him as a content creator, golf player, and ultimate Frisbee player. Please go check that out. I think for those content creators that watch my videos, it's really important that you see his perspective on this situation. Now, I'm going to put a quick clip in here showing you exactly the sort of discrimination that people know exists in this country, especially white Americans, what they know exists. And actually, just check out this clip.
I want every white person in this room who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our Black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our Black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the directions. If you white folks want to be treated the way Blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you. I want to know why you're so willing to accept it or to allow it to happen for others.
This video speaks volumes towards the awareness that there was a problem with systemic discrimination and racism in this country, and that we as white Americans know of it, and we need to do something to change it. I find it funny that in the same token, those situations happen, but people feel comfortable saying there's no racism in this country, there's no discrimination in this country's, far beyond that, we're past that. A great video that you all should check out as well is a video made by Emmanuel Acho that he put on his Instagram. I really recommend that you go and watch that, because him as a African American, he has some great insights as to what we as white Americans need to understand about the situation, about discrimination, and about racism in America. One of the things that I want to talk about, though, from that video is that he references a race. Imagine a race where one person gets a 200-meter head start and the other person gets left back 200 meters in chains, and they get broken free essentially when the other person has a huge head start on them. Obviously, this is a reference towards the 200-meter head start that white America got on the Black community post-slavery and post the Civil Rights Act and post everything that America essentially did to keep the Black community oppressed. Somewhere along the line, white America forgot that if you started a race with a huge deficit, it's nearly impossible to catch up if you're at least on the same level of playing field in regards to your athletic ability. If it was a race and I was as fast as the person 200 meters ahead of me, I could not catch them. It's not a fair race. We're all human, and essentially a group of people were given a 200-meter head start just by virtue of of how this country was founded on. As Emmanuel puts it, we need to either have the person who's in front be stopped or have the person who was left behind be caught up with a golf cart. Get into a spot where they're on an equal playing field and then the race is fair. I pointed those things out because hopefully you will see that there is still a problem in this country, that what happened before is affecting now, and that's the reason you're seeing what's going on in the world happening with so many people being impacted with what happened to George Floyd and his murder and everything that goes along with it, and all the countless others who have been mistreated over time in the Black community. So what we can do as white Americans and those people that should help support the Black community is to educate ourselves, to donate, and to do anything in our power to help the cause, because without our help, nothing is going to change. I have links in the description to causes that you can help support. If you have the money to do so, please go and donate. And if you don't, there are also other ways that you can help by, for example, going and watching these YouTube videos that are essentially set up so all the ad revenue will go towards supporting those same causes. So if you don't have money, it's essentially free for you to watch the videos, and all those ads and all the ad revenue will go towards supporting those causes. You should read or watch the movie/book Just Mercy. The movie came out in 2019. It's now free to rent to try to spread awareness on the issues that are happening in America and what's been happening in our history. And it's essentially about a 1987 case where an African-American man was charged with something that he didn't do, and he put on death row. And, it's past the Civil Rights Movement, because 1987 is 22 years, I think, after the Civil Rights Act passed. So essentially, you have a situation where Jim Crow's done, oppression is done, and discrimination's done, but a man still gets put on death row because of the color of his skin. Even in our most just and legal system, somebody got charged for something that they didn't do, put on death row because of the color of their skin. That's not right, and I really recommend for those of you that haven't watched it or read it to do one of those two things, because it's really important that we're educated on these things. One of the most important things you can do as well is to vote. Your vote has huge impact. There's a lot of primaries coming up. Please vote in them. Make the impact be known. Vote the right people in so that change can happen. Lastly, I want to say that everyone has their own way of speaking up, and everyone has their own way that they're going to support this. So to all of you that are supporting it in your own ways, thank you. And I hope that all of you are doing some sort of way of supporting. To those of you that may want others to do a little more or do something different, try to understand that not everyone's going to support in the exact same way. So everyone's trying to support in the way that they can. And all of us helping together is going to make this country a better place. Let's do our best to support each other and make real change happen by doing things that matter and doing things that will create change and help end discrimination and racism in this country. It's time for all of us as Americans to speak up. It's time, because together we can accomplish anything. Thank you all, and I'll see you guys in the next one.